MotorhomeDiaries.com.
I'm Jack McHugh. I'm the Senior Legislative Analyst for the Mackinac Center for Public Policy, which is Michigan's free market think tank. And what I'm here to talk about is this little document right here called the Tea Party Activists Toolbox. The government is so big and does so much that people at the grassroots level don't know what's going on. They don't understand what's being done in their name in state capitals and in Washington, except for the big high-profile issues that pop up. But there is bad stuff that happens all the time. This is a manual for grassroots citizens to become effective political change agents. It was written by myself and mainly by Ken Braun, my colleague. It's somewhat based on our experience before the Mackinac Center as legislative staffers. Here's what happens when a citizen calls a representative or a senator in Michigan, and the same thing happens in every state. The details vary, but it's the same process. When that phone rings and I pick it up and it's a citizen calling about an issue, first thing I ask is his name and address. And while he's talking to me, I am typing his name and address into the computer. Up pops his entire voting record for the last 10 years or so. Not how he voted, but whether he voted. If I see that you vote in every primary election, every August, every other August, there you are. Here's my reaction. Yes, sir, Mr. Iyer, what can I do for you today? Can I have the representative call you back? I'm not kidding. It's just like that. So keep that in mind, number one. Number two, elections in Michigan for legislature and for, to a lesser extent for Congress, but certainly for the legislature, are not won and lost in November, but in the primary election. The reason being that the districts are all gerrymandered. Everyone knows that. They're all either Republican districts or Democratic districts. Politicians have dysfunctional personalities. They wake up every morning worried that someone out there doesn't like them, especially someone who's a primary voter. Now, this is an opportunity for citizens to affect the political process. You combine that who they really care about, primary voters, with they really don't like to be disliked. A relatively handful of people can have an effect on issues. So when I was a legislative analyst, if we got half a dozen calls from real live primary voters, not ginned up by some special interest, the teachers union or something like that, but real live people who were concerned about an issue, all calling about the same issue, that was a groundswell. They would go into the caucus and say, guys, I can't support you on this because I'm getting calls to my office. The problem is most people don't know what's going on. They don't know how their person voted. You know, everyone's heard this, well, you know, my guy's okay, but all those other ones are bad. No, your guy almost certainly is not okay. And one of the things in here is a candidate questionnaire for Tea Party activists that has about 16 of these votes. If someone goes through and grades their legislator on these 16 votes, they will know whether their guy or gal is one of the handful who are voting their values. Knowledge, and then using that knowledge to and your record as a primary voter, this gives people real power that they don't realize they have. At the local level, there's bad stuff happening all the time. Citizens can affect that too, but the way you affect that is not to show up at the meeting and wait until public comment time and march up. No, it's to get a dozen of your Tea Party activist friends and show up when the meeting starts or before it, out in front with your homemade Tea Party signs. Call the media ahead of time, tell them you're going to be there, and I guarantee you a dozen people showing up and picketing essentially at a public meeting like that, those bad things will not happen. They will disappear for a while until nobody's looking again.